right, well, welcome back to the JMO and Mason H0 show. Today, special guest, Barron Mamiya. Super psyched to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super psyched.
Perfect. Yeah, we were sitting around and shooting some messages back and forth to Mason. I'm like, who should we do the next podcast with? He's like, dude, hit up Barron. I was like, perfect. Actually, I tripped out because I don't even have your number, but like we see each other pretty much every day throughout the winter. But different friend group, but all good.
No, yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Let's see if I got my headphones right.
You all right, Bal?
Oh, I'm just getting so psyched. I feel like a rapper. I want to make sure is there even a right or a left? Oh, it was right. Dang it. I ruined that whole mental part.
No, you're good.
Okay.
But all right, Barron, born and raised on the North Shore, basically born at Keiki Beach, right?
Yeah. I lived at in Haleiwa for a little when I was super young.
Yep.
And then once I got I think I was 8 or 9, we moved up to the North Shore. That's when I was super psyched on surfing and stuff. And yeah, I moved up to the North Shore. I moved to Keiki and I just lived there ever since. And then in 2020, I moved up to Pukeo.
Yeah, I remember when you because I was always go down the Keikis, charge the shore breaks, pack the nutsest clothes out. I thought I was the nutsest guy, and then freaking Barron showed up just plotting on my whole situation. And next thing you know, they slowly took over the zone.
Oh yeah, it was. I know. When we were kids, we always used to watch all you guys go down there and send it. And you had that catch surf contest or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, it was pretty cool. And we were super young, and me and all my friends would always try and do the same thing and just get pounded, eat shit.
Yeah, we were like, oh, let's make a contest, the most official, non-official surf contest in the world. And we went down there, we set up tents, we brought a bunch of soft top boards down there, and it was bombing, bro. I woke up, I was like, oh, it's second reef rock piles. I was like, but maybe it's north and not really getting into Keikis. And I had all these theories, and we showed up, and
isn't it going there more or no?
I don't know. I just had a theory.
Yeah, that thing was mental.
And next thing you know, bro, I swear it was 8, 10 foot. It was there was just these psycho underground slabs, and boys were tripping, scared. I paddled out. I had to just kind of man up and pack a couple bombs. Keikis,
that was crazy.
Keikis is not the most pleasant shore break to pull into, really, but it's fun.
That's why Barron's such a real sledgehammer, just because I think he was raised at Keiki. and I could vouch too that before you said you're in Haleiwa before that. Mm-hmm. I remember you would always be at our house in the living room when you were a baby.
Yeah, I remember I'd always go up there when I was a super grom.
Yeah, 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old. I remember one time you were maybe 4 years old, maybe 3, but you were 4 or something, and you had a broken arm.
Yeah, no, I had a broken leg.
A broken leg?
2.5.
And was it?
Yeah, I was skating.
From dropping in on the ramp, yeah?
Yeah, we were in, I was at Mililani Skate Park, because I used to skate all the time when I was young. And I was skating, and there was this vert side, and it was pretty big. It was 8 feet or something. Yeah. And I got to the top of it, and I looked at my dad, and I was like, I'm going to drop in. I'm going to do it. And he's like, no, you're not. What are you doing? You can't do that.
Yeah, wait a second.
And then I was like, no, I'm going to do it. And he's like, okay, then do it. And I went and I did it. And I did the splits, broke my femur in half.
That's gnarly.
I remember you on our couch forever, just laying there with your leg up. You're always elevating your leg. And I'd be running in and out, just going surfing or something. And you'd just be kind of looking at me yeah. And I was just like, bro, this kid's a psycho, bro. When is he going to grow up?
It was super gnarly too, because I was so young that we went to the hospital, the hospital thought my parents did it or something. They're like, there's no way this little kid did this, And they're like, no, he was skating and this whole thing. But it was pretty, it was pretty crazy.
Was that your worst injury ever?
No.
So you had worse injuries. You had more worse injuries at pipe.
A couple times you had casts on.
Yeah, the femur one was pretty gnarly, but I was so young that I kind of didn't really remember it.
Yeah.
But when I was,
you were so young.
I was such a I was super young, but
I promise. You had a bottle. I remember you had a baby bottle with orange juice in it. Not even milk, man. You had your leg elevated. I'll never forget.
That should have been milk. Yeah.
I was like, man, shouldn't you have milk in that thing, man? He had juice in there. My dad's like, it's orange juice, man. Vitamin C. Milk don't have that. And I was just like, man, Uncle Barry tell my dad to stop.
So classic.
But what was your worst injury? Was it surfing or was it skateboarding?
It was definitely surfing. I dislocated my shoulder a few times. I got surgery, but I think the worst one I had was I was surfing logs when it was in 2016, I think. And the lip, I airdropped and the lip landed on my board. Ooh. And it launched me into the air and my board flipped over and I landed
on your fins,
directly on my fins.
Oh, Gnarly.
I came up, my board was broken like up the stringer.
Wow.
It wasn't broken in half, it was broken like up. And I was like, oh, like my ass hurts.
Oh my,
Like,
yeah.
what?
No.
Like,
For
shit,
real,
like
right?
this is gnarly. And then I looked and I just realized like in the whitewater, there's just like red.
No way.
Everywhere. And I was like, oh no. And I was out by myself and my dad was on the beach and I get on the beach and I look down and it's just like a faucet of blood coming out of my shorts. And I was like,
Out of your butt.
yeah. It was so bad.
Heavy.
I landed right and it just like, I basically like ripped my butthole.
Jeez, man. I thought I had gnarly.
It was horrible.
But-
God,
injuries.
you know Jerry Lopez did that?
Yeah.
That was like apparently one of the last times he ever served pipe. He shredded his butthole with his fin.
Yeah, I did hear
Honorable
that.
thing.
I was tripping on that because mine's was like really bad and it was like it was I got to the hospital and like the people were just tripping and my mom was there, she was freaking out and I'm like basically bleeding out in the back of her car.
What you had to lay down on your stomach because you couldn't sit on your butt.
Yeah. I was laying down the whole ride home. It was
Did someone have to apply pressure on your butt? Or you just squeezed your butt cheek?
Oh no, that's heavy. You can't even apply.
Yeah.
it was so painful that I was just like, dude, I don't care. Like
Yeah,
whatever.
like, whatever.
That's
Bleed
crazy.
But yeah, I was in the hospital for like a couple weeks and then someone told me like, oh yeah, Jerry Lopez, the same thing happened to him, but his was worse because he had to like poop into a bag for like a long time.
Oh
or
my
something.
gosh.
So I got pretty
Jerry,
lucky.
that's right. He's the master.
Yeah.
He's been through it all. Yeah.
Well, that just kind of goes to show, like, it's like whether, it's John broke his back at pipe, Nate
Yeah.
broke his back at Jaws, I broke both my legs at Pipeline. You ripped your butt at freaking.
I blew my head wide open right where you ripped your butt.
Yeah.
Oh, really a lot. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep, that same spot. Oh, that place is seen. I've heard of people like even a guy dying right there.
Bro, it's scary
Oh,
out there. Bro, one time I duck dove at log cabins and grinded all my knuckles, bro. Every single one of my knuckles were
that's a good
grinded.
one.
So now when I duck dive and it's shallow, I push down and I put my hands on
Yeah.
the top of the board because I don't want to like grind my knuckles on the reef.
I did, yeah.
And I remember for like weeks after, it kind of looks like this, but like weeks after, I couldn't surf because all my hands would sting so bad when I'd go surf.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't want to like paddle, bro. I was like, freaking didn't want to go out.
That's so
But
gnarly.
you went through it just to catch more.
I think all my injuries were at logs. I've had a few at pipe, but
I actually stopped surfing logs.
you're over it.
I don't. I got my little
Yeah.
line that I don't pass. Like
Yeah.
That's like me.
thing blew my head open.
I call it like my peripheral, bro. I look out and all I can see is like Aokai, gums, pipe, backdoor, off the wall, insanities, and done. That's it. Yeah.
That's all you need though.
That's all you need.
It's perfect.
That's why I always like trying to explain it. Like, I mean, like Mason, like Mason decided to surf pipe when he was like 15. He just finally paddled out after he's been at VLAN for like 100 years. And then I was like,
Had a couple sneakers out there, bro, but not when you guys would surf. Bro. You guys are gnarly, bro.
no, I just remember tripping on
Yeah, I
Mason
know,
when
I
he
know.
showed up and I was like, bro,
Right.
like I knew he was going to be good, but not this good, bro. Like he was just like, I don't even know. He's just doing this kind of crazy magic in the barrel. Kind of like when you showed up, like
Oh,
I remember this like first time seeing Barron out there. I was like, oh, Grom kind of rips, bro. Like you're all about the backdoor attack, and then you started to figure out the backside, and then I saw you take a couple drops. I'm like, frick, bro, he's got it figured
right.
out. So
Barron
bad.
wasn't really a late bloomer out there, though, huh? He was like,
He came early.
he came or like right on time, like how
Yeah.
you guys all did it. And I noticed Barron, it was nuts because you were always young, I felt like, but you were like always surfing way above your age, even when you were like almost a baby still. Like, that like 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
You were even going so nuts that I always assumed, I'm like, I think he's just 18. Like, or like, and I always assumed you were 18. And then and all of a sudden you did turn 18. I'm like, bro, this guy's 30, bro. There's no way, bro. And guys would be like, he's 18. I was like, what a blessing. Like, cause he is so good. And I was always thought you're a part of the game. Like that you're going to change the game, and now watching you do it, it's been so sick.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I love it.
My dad would always rouse me like when I was young, like, you
I
gotta
love
surf
that.
pipe. Like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, get out there. I'm like, all right.
That's so funny, man. My dad's the opposite. It's so funny. I love hearing that though. It's like,
It's kind of funny if we were surfing pipe right now. This would be a kind of like a gnarly little lineup. Like we'd be like, frick, bro, wait, you know what I
in
mean?
the spot for the right now.
Yeah.
And actually, Barron can almost take anything he wanted.
I'm in
He's
the
right
middle.
in
I'm
the
just kidding. You guys both going this way.
No,
Just like,
Barron's so cool too. He'd probably always. I noticed Barron always lets us. You're really good at like, that pecking order we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Barron, I've noticed like there's like a lot of people who try and kind of cheat it or just kind of feel where they're at. Sometimes you're like, okay, you're not you find out, okay, I'm not really there yet, you know, or whatever. But I've noticed Barron has always been so respectful about like just his elders or anyone putting in time before him, that I've noticed he's so good and respectful that like the surf gods reward him really well, because a lot of the times I've watched him, he'll maybe give me a wave or another person a wave when I'm just like, whoa, is it my turn or whatever? But Barron will just be, I notice he'll give me such a cool vibe that I'm like, whoa, well, he's just okay. Like you'll be like, go, you know, and I'm like, okay, woo, candy. Like, okay, I'm going, you know, like, woo. But then I'll go and then I'll just kick out and you'll be on the nice, perfect next one or something, you know. I just notice you pay a lot of respect to that, like that little pecking order. But I also have watched it, you get rewarded from your respect a lot too, like the ocean and I don't know, just your respect. It seems like you get, and then the wave, even because a lot of people, if they cheat the line and kind of sneak it, sometimes as an older person or whatever, you're just kind of like, oh, he snuck it again, you know. But you, every time you get it, I feel like everyone's really happy for you because everyone knows you wait and you just kind of do your thing really with respect, you know. So I feel like when you get your good waves, everyone really feels happy for you.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in Hawaii, it's like respect, you know, everything's respect. So it's like, kind of just, I'm just a grom. So I was like, just trying to figure it out, you know?
I like surfing with Barron. He comes out, like you said, he's very respectful. He's just kind of waiting, but I know he's looking for the psycho, like steep, like and deep ones. But while we're waiting for the like 8-10 footers, he's like taking the 8-footers that could go
Active.
10 foot, you know, like they're like the bodyboard waves that, like, you know, Jeff Hubbard is just like freaking airdropping, and you're like, you come in and you're like looking at the footage after, you're like, what? That wave did that? You can't even believe your mind, bro. You're like, not necessarily the biggest one's the best one at Pipeline. It's usually the 8-footer that goes by 12, and those are the psychotic ones.
Barron's on that.
It's funny when you like go back and watch footage of Pipe, and you like see a bunch of random people like get like crazy waves. You're like, where were those waves? And they're like way down or like way inside, or you know, you don't see them really. No. It's crazy. It's
definitely crazy. Speaking of crazy, you won the Pipeline Masters this year with John. I mean, it's not crazy, but I mean, I'm sure paddling out to that, like, you know,
what? You won the Pipeline Masters this year?
Or was it last year?
No, it was this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Where were you, Mason?
You won the Pipe Masters, bro. Holy shit. You did?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I knew you did, but damn, this has to be like, what? I knew you did. Oh, man.
I mean, whatever it's called nowadays. What is it? The Pipe Pro or something?
No,
Pipe Masters,
no, you're right. That is. Yeah, no, that's like, it's always been the top. You got to battle, like whether you're from Tahiti or whatever, all the world's best. That's the Pipe Masters. But I'm just actually, what? That's the sickest. You you hit the top of the pier. You're cruising now, man.
Yeah. Like, look, I mean, for me, like, I won the Pipe Masters when I was 21 years old, and it literally paved my whole career. After that, it was like, I didn't have to go chase all the contests, even though I won the contest. And then Rip Curl's like, bro, you're going to be a world champion. Get on this tour and like, get on it and grind. Like, just remember that one result right there. And I know you have a few others and you're going to get a few more, bro. Cruise off that one. Just get big barrels.
Who is in the finals? Give me another 5. I'm so baffled. Who is in the finals, bro, for real?
Yeah, it was John. It was me and John. It was pretty crazy.
Was he acting weird in the final? Was he like trying not to talk to you or big dog you?
No, right before the final, I shook his hand and it was like, you know, we gave each other a hug and I paddled out. But the whole day I just felt like so like locked in, and I was like, I knew like throughout the whole event, I was just like really, really locked in, and I knew, I was like, okay, this is the year. Like I could feel it. And there was just all these things coming together. And that day I like just felt like nothing was going to stop me from winning.
Yeah.
And I knew from the beginning, because me and John were on the opposite sides of the draw, and I was like, okay, it's going to be me and John in the final. I guarantee you it. Like it's going to be so sick. Like it's my dream. And we got in the final, and I was just like, he doesn't like to like do like the whole paddle battle thing or battle or whatever.
Super mellow.
So I was just like, okay. So, but he was battling me for the first wave. I was like, oh, this is like, you know, this is pretty sick. Like, okay.
The boys.
So then I got my first wave. It was like a 6. And then I paddled back out, and he was on the next one. I was a right, and he got like a 7.
Yep.
And then he got.
I just remembered I watched this. Wait, give me 5. This is mean. That's why now it's sinking in.
And so
sorry.
We were paddling back out, and he was going out to the right, and I was going to the left, and he made it out before me. And we got out there, and I was like, okay. Next wave that comes in, I hope it's a 2-wave set. Like, I'm going to try and sell them on the first wave. Hopefully it's not that good. And this set came in and it went deep, like way down, like towards off the wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then I paddled away over there and it was a good wave. Like he knew it too, obviously. And I was like, okay, I was like making sure he was going. And I was like right here and he was here and he went and I went in kind of far too with him. And then I pulled out and the next wave, I seen it and I was like, okay, this is like a nug. And I went as deep as I possibly could. And then I took off and I looked up and I was like, oh, there's no chance I'm going to make this wave. Like I'm so deep.
Those are the good ones.
And then I pulled up and I did this one pump and then the whole barrel was just white. And I was like, oh, and I almost jumped and then it just kept letting me go. And then I came out and I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. I can't believe I made it.
Yeah, the whole beach just went,
I 100% remember when you, wave,
Yeah.
You get a 10, right?
Yeah, I got a 10.
Yeah.
Did you get like when you were coming out of that wave? I like when I got like a 9.97 in the final. I remember coming out and I was just like, oh, and I was like, my fingers were tingling. I was like, that was it.
Yeah, I remember I was like coming out of the barrel and I was like claiming it before I even like almost all the way came out. I was like, what?
Thank God.
Good thing you didn't get lipped in the head on the way out. That would have been a heavy one.
Oh, two NS. I remember being two North Shore boys in the final on the North Shore. Yeah,
I seen you in the final too, Mason. You had a shot.
Snuck one. I snuck a final. Yeah, it was fun. That's the sickest comp. Yeah, that's why when it hit me, maybe you know why I don't think I got to sit down with you and talk about it.
Yeah,
maybe.
I haven't seen him since then.
Dude, that was mean. I literally remember sitting there watching with my dad and my sister, and we were all freaking out, cheering for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm like a big fan of like seeing new people win. Not like if I'm looking at the final, I'm like kind of like, oh, it'd be sick to see Barron win. John already won Pipeline Masters like multiple times. Like,
yeah. Well, even John probably had a little tinge. Like, well, I wouldn't even care if Barron or just
I don't think so. I think he was super down. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah,
no, he guarantee he was pissed because like he's like counting him in
that guy.
No, John's like counting him in his head. I mean, how many has he won? 2?
He wants more.
I think he's only won 1.
He's only won 1, so he's got like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's got a lot of seconds.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed too. It's cool to have like your last name on the list. It's like your name. That's how you almost live. Your name lives on. You know, in the surfing history. Like Mamiya is on there now. It's like, oh, your dad must be so proud.
Yeah, he was crying when I came in. It was pretty cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's the best.
So.
You finally very much so impress your parents, and they're just like crying. You're like, oh, I did it, bro. Yeah. Like after every single like pounding you've ever got at Pipeline, every single uncle that snapped on you, it all just comes together to be the best thing of your whole life. Yeah.
It's a crazy feeling.
That's
definitely
a dream.
Radical, bro.
And what?
The last name Mamiya, bro. Living on. I just remember in comps, that was the only thing I'd get eggy on. I remember when I'd lose, or like, I wouldn't care really about the money, or the money. I'm like, whatever I spent, whatever I was gonna win, whatever. But then it's like, you know what I was eggy on always? I'd be like, bro, I'm disgracing my last name. Like or I'm like my uncle and my dad.
Both won Pipe Masters, Sunset, everything.
Yeah, or even Sunset. But when I hit the road, you know, I remember losing at Margaret River one time, like just coming in like, bro, what, bro? No hoes should be losing around these parts. But then I'm like, I'm the one. Fuck.
Contest surfing is so hard though. Like you lose so much. Like
no, and then you always want to come back and conquer. Or like
you always want to come back.
You
and it's like you're surfing horrible waves for the most part, you know. I mean, obviously there's some of the events where you get like good waves and stuff and it's cool, but you have to definitely learn how to lose a lot because that's what you're gonna
big part.
It's a big part.
And surfing, huh?
Yeah, and surfing just in general, like
in general.
But it's cool. Like I don't know.
If you could surf a 4-man heat, who would it be with? Pipeline.
You could pretend like we're not here.
Yeah.
It's okay. Because you got some sick friends, or you got friends that would like probably bring out some freak in you.
Oh yeah.
I feel like just like my 3 best friends, obviously, like Kalani, Noah, McConnell. That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be mental.
That'd be a mean heat to watch. Where at?
Pretty heavy heat.
Where would this heat be?
Pipe would be the dream.
Ooh, pay-per-view, bro. I'd pay that puppy for sure. Kalani, Kalani got in. He's been on too. KR, the Diamond Kitty, bro.
Yeah. He's classic.
The Diamond Kitty.
The Diamond Kitty, bro. He's seen it before.
He's classic. He's like the spider monkey. That's what I call him.
What I know that wave he got was pretty spider monkey-ish.
Bro,
pretty
you know
spider
what's the
monkeys.
weirdest thing about Kalani is he like disappeared during COVID and he got so weird. And I remember he didn't even like paddle out the pipe. I didn't see him at pipe for like 2 years, bro.
No, yeah,
And I was like, what are you doing, dude? And he's like, bro, freaking, I don't know.
He was so
He would
freaked
love
out
that
on
call,
it. And
too.
I was like, bro, I'd call him all the time. Like, dude, what is your deal? And then I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm not calling you anymore. Like,
Yeah, he wouldn't
You're
leave the
messing
house.
with my
you're
vibe. yeah, I know.
clipped, bro. And then he's like, all of a sudden, like, we'll come surf here and there and then like go hibernate and come back. It's pretty funny.
What a hero.
And then growing up with that younger generation, that's like kind of like, you know, to me, the next generation under us at Pipeline is you guys in that tight little group. How was it like growing up under like, you know, me and Mason and John's like kind of the generation above you too. Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
like-
Yeah, I'm 24 and I think he's 31. So
Yeah.
he's definitely the generation above me. But like, I don't know, just growing up, like watching all you guys and like, you know, obviously watching you win. What year did you win the Pipe Masters?
2004.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 4.
Bro, he literally had his cast up on my couch when you won that thing. I was running off the VLAN already. Not quite pipe yet, but I'm at VLAN, bro. Nah.
That's so
Rocky.
funny. Yeah, I was 4 years old.
Oh, that's crazy. Huh?
Yeah, watching that. I remember like I was like pretty young, so like I don't really like remember all that stuff, but I do remember like watching like the Kelly and Chris Ward final and all that. I think that was 2009.
That was great.
It was cool, and like just watching everyone, even watching you the year you did good, like when I was a Grom.
Yeah, I remember you.
I was at the Volcom House, just like super psyched, like just watching everyone and seeing all you guys like do your thing, especially like John growing up and watching him do his thing and doing everything. It's definitely very inspiring and like super cool.
You know what? To me, it was the craziest thing. There was like our generation. You know, I'm 41, but then there was literally nobody for like 10 years. Like the next generation was like John, Koa, Eli.
We're skipping me and Dusty and all the gang, bro. We're dropping bombs on
You're like
you guys
John's
and
age.
these guys.
How old
bro.
are you? You're like John's age.
No, I'm 36. So and you said John's 31.
Dropping bombs.
So I remember baby bombs. But no, I remember because I think it was like I was always looking up to you. Like I said on that trip, I was 15 and you were like already like gnarly. I remember you're legally wait, you weren't 21 by the time I was 15, right? I remember you were drinking like a mad dog. I'm like, bro, I was 15. I'm like, this guy has to be 21. but I just remember you were definitely like a weight above like a what were generation above us. And then I think there was like me and a couple of us, and then John was like right up maybe below us, maybe in generations, and then there was. Yeah, pretty much like you guys too. But no, like, I remember the door was wide open. I remember you know what happened was your generation was so gnarly, or the one right above you, Jamie, the generation above you was so gnarly.
Yeah.
And I feel like you like blew the doors open kind of wide and open where everyone didn't even know what was going on. And me and a bunch of other little guys just kind of snuck in and kind of made a little boof, kind of did our little thing. And then all of a sudden, like John came in and just freaking like laid down the law on a lot of everybody. And then we're all like, whoa, this is mental. What's going to happen here? And then there's like Medina and John and them. And then all of a sudden like Barron and them were like laying in the cut. And then those guys kind of like almost took a nap a little bit. And then this guy and these guys came up and just present day flair.
It's crazy. Like there's always like, I feel like there's always like a 3 to 4 year gap in between each generation, you know? Because like
trippy.
There's my generation and then above me is like the Seths and Jack Robos.
That's right.
They're a little older than me and Griffins and all that stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. Like then there's the younger generation, like the Eli's and stuff. And then underneath that, but it feels like there's always like a little gap in between.
I've been like probably like surfing out there hard for 25 years. And like Uncle Liam McNamara was telling me, he's like, wow, it's like, you know, a lot of guys put 10 years in, but a lot of guys don't put 20. And there's very few that put 30. And there's only a couple that put 40.
I've
and I was
heard
like,
that him
and he's like, that's 4th degree black belt pipeline. I was like, oh. And he's like,
that's why we have to have Liam.
No, we're going to do a podcast with Liam McNamara.
25 is like... That, like I said, man, I remember digging holes in the sand watching you drop bombs.
No, but he like looked at me and he's like, you're like maybe 14, you started getting some bombs. you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, frick, I guess you're keeping count. And then forever, how many years that is to now, like, I'm like, all right, like, frick, I want my 40-year black belt, like Mike Ho and Derek Ho, bro. Like, I think just like the longevity about serving pipeline, to me, I find it so like attractive, and I just don't want to leave. I don't want to leave the lineup. I feel it's such a special place and sharing it with everybody, and trying to be that guy that, you know, put in my time, but like I'm there kind of more timeless, you know, like, I don't know, pipe's nuts.
I like that.
It's the craziest wave ever. Like, I don't know. I feel like any wave you surf in the world, nothing can compare to it.
Yeah, it's true.
I like that.
Ever.
Right. I know. I like that. Sometimes I get scared when I'm on the road, or like, because, you know, sometimes you'll jump in some oceans and you don't know the currents or like anything, what's going on, or the lineups. And then, yeah, all of a sudden I'll think of pipeline and I'll be like, come on, Mason, you could at least swim to the shore.
No, like, so I was at Lance's Rights recently, and I was just like, oh, like, they're like, oh, maybe we'll go to Greenbush. And I was like, oh yeah, Greenbush would be pretty mental. And then all I could start thinking about was like, oh, what the frick does a reef look like underneath? And it's all green, like freaking like that thing at the end. I'm like starting to second guess, and I'm like, oh, like, and then I'm like, what am I thinking? But I surf pipe just dropping in, like like Greenbush is a mechanical 6-foot flawless left, like that doesn't really get taller, it gets wider, but like pipe, it does it all. Like, it's just, but I just feel like sometimes knowing what the reef's like makes like my mind just at ease.
I know. Same. Remember when we pulled up to Greenbush first time?
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't even talk about it.
Was it firing or was it really bad?
Oh my God. It was mental.
Really?
But I swear it was like the second time, or like they just found it.
No way.
Yeah. Cause I remember,
crazy.
talking to the captain. I want to say, but I was like, oh, you know, when you're a Grom and you're always like, what if this happened? What if that?
Yeah.
You'd like 21 questions.
Asking a billion questions.
I remember asking him like, what would you do if someone pulled up and found it? He's like, oh, I'd shoot him. Or he's like, I got a gun on the boat. Because I was like, how would you do it? And he's like, I got a gun on the boat. I'm like, about what? And then eventually
deep,
the freaking boat pulled up one time and he thought it was me.
That's crazy.
But no.
What you got some good ways this summer, Barron, besides traveling around surfing all the contests?
Yeah, I went to Kandui like 2 months ago.
Oh, sick. I saw some of that.
Yeah, it was insane. Like, I kind of just went just to like go, because a few of my friends went, like, dude, you got to go. Like, it'll be fun. Like, you'll get some good waves. And I didn't really expect anything. I had no expectations. I just wanted to go on a surf trip. I was competing a bunch. So we went, and I ended up like scoring a crazy swell. Sick. And Eli and Koa showed up, and I was like, okay, perfect. These guys showed up, so I'm in the spot.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, this is it. Like, this is where the waves are gonna be good.
No, because I saw Koa and Eli in the mental eyes, and then I was like, oh, how's the swell? He's like, yeah, it was super sick. He's like, and then Eli was like, Eli was like, bro, I was kind of tripping on Barron, but he like sat on the inside a little bit, and he got all the best ones, bro. I was like waiting out the back for like these big, huge ones, but meanwhile, like Barron's one, we're just unloading. He's getting like 20-second barrels, and like he's like, frick up. He made me like think I was blowing it. Like he's like all frustrated over there.
The Barron story.
It's funny, but we got fun waves. Like, everyone had a good trip. It was cool to be on the trip with those guys. I haven't been on a trip with them.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're super fun.
I enjoy surfing with those guys.
It was super enjoyable, and we surfed the little hideaways and stuff. But yeah, there's 2 days where Kandui was like proper.
Yeah.
We paddled out early in the morning, the first big day. And it was me, Koa, Eli, and Anthony Walsh was there too.
Oh, Walshy.
And we got out there, and it was like 8, maybe 10 feet, and just like doubling up, rifling down the thing. I was just like, whoa, I haven't seen a wave like this in so long. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It looked crazy.
We surfed all day, and it was fun. We scored.
And I heard you got your first toe in this summer.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I went to Tahiti for a swell. I was with Matai actually, and I was like, hey, I want to get a toe wave. The wave I got was like pretty small. It was not that big. But he was like, his whole theory is he goes out the back and sits there for hours.
8 hours.
Yeah. And I was sitting out the back for 6 hours, and I was like, bro, I'm going to miss the whole swell. Like, what's going on? Like,
wait, serious?
Yeah, we sat out the back for 6 hours.
And what happens when the waves come in?
He's like,
can you give me this one?
There's these waves coming in, and I was like, bro, this thing is huge. Like, they're just big walls. He's like, no, we got to wait. And I'm like,
what a legend.
Dude, just give me this
What a
wave. It's
hero, man.
perfect.
Look at that guy.
Perfect size. And then we ended up like passing all these waves, and then we got like a smaller one, which I was like, yeah, I just need to surf. I just want to paddle at this point, you know?
Yeah, he's gnarly out there. Like you said, like he'll wait like 8 or 10 hours for one wave and he'll pick it. But that's cool because like, you know, if you have Matai towing you in, you're gonna get any wave that comes in because he's like, you know,
How does he know?
He just
is it just that bit when it's coming in? He's like, this is the biggest one.
You see it,
like,
bro.
You see
Really?
it.
Yeah.
He was like, when you he looked at me, he's like, when you see the west and you don't see the mountains behind it, that's the one.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
Ooh,
It's like the big black ones that shows.
What does he call it?
bro.
The cosmos.
The
yeah?
cosmos. Yeah. He's like, you got to get locked into the cosmos. I was like, no, I don't want the cosmos.
God, it'd be scary going on down the Chopes and just hanging out with that guy.
Yeah. It's pretty classic.
I want to ask him about the cosmos.
Yeah.
Why is he?
You should.
Yeah, right.
He loves it.
Like
That's all
that
he talks
breakdown.
about.
Really? Okay. I'm curious about that.
What is he? What he calls the West Pole of Cosmos?
No, like he's like, you got I don't know. He has some theory like when you're super deep in a huge tow wave, he's like calls it the cosmos because time slows down and you feel like you're in outer
trippy,
space.
Huh? I bet.
Oh, I need to figure it out. Or I need to ask him.
Yeah,
and then when you take a wipe out there, it just sends you to freaking outer space again, bro. I'm so scared of that wave.
I've
That
had
wave
the
is so
cosmos
scary.
underwater.
Yeah,
I never had the cosmos like in the barrel mental coming out. But at Chopo, I had a cosmos underwater.
we were there together.
Yeah.
Remember that? I was 15. I was super young.
Dude, and you were going, man, I remember pulling up, just being like, I was already an adult. But I remember thinking like, does Barron even know what's going on right now? Because I remember like kind of tripping out because I didn't have a board or anything.
Yeah.
But also the waves were scary and big.
big.
So I was kind of like, I got the excuse with no board. I don't have to go out.
That's always a good excuse,
Right. And I literally didn't have one. And then I just seen you just getting so barreled and just playing with it. And it looked so crazy. And like you said, you're only 15. So I was like, brah, I'm going to have to go out there and check Barron out and see what's going on. But eventually I got Cosmo underwater.
I seen one you went out. I was like, whoa.
Slip my wrist.
Yeah, it was gnarly. Whose board were you? Weren't you riding like Adriano's board or something?
Jadson Andre's board. And it was old, bro, that thing. I was like, no. I was like, the one time I'm going to surf Chopo, the meanest time too, is just I'm going to be on Jadson's board.
That was
my
sick.
good buddy.
That was super sick.
Jadson's the man.
Yeah, he's a great one.
Water, bro. I got the
Water break.
cotton mouth. No, you guys should flare up.
Free surfing. Would you choose free surfing or just competition surfing? How long are you planning on competing for? You like put 10 years in? You can be like 20 or 30 like Kelly or like.
I don't know. I was going back and forth with that this year, a lot, kind of. Just like, I feel like I love competing. Like I'm really competitive and stuff, and I love it. But then I was just like, I would just go and see like all my friends getting like crazy waves, and I'm just like, dude, I just want to get barreled. Like what? Like this is like way sicker, and I want to like get good waves and like work on surfing and like, you know, surf good waves and have fun. But then I was like, I love competing, and for me, like that's an outlet for me to like be like my not like I don't know, just like to achieve all these goals that I've always wanted when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And that's like what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to, you know, obviously win pipe and win a world title and do all these things. But I definitely think like when I achieve like the goals that I want to achieve or whatever happens, but I'll definitely go back to free surfing eventually, because contests are kind of a burnout. I mean, I don't know. You guys know, like, it's just like you're traveling, you're competing. It's like all this mental stress, and then you're like surfing these waves that suck most of the time. And it's kind of like a trip, but I don't know. I think I'll just, you know, see what happens.
I mean, it's pretty sick when you win a contest, you win $100,000, and then your sponsors, if that's part of the agreement, they're like, oh, we'll match your prize purse, or like you get all these like bonuses at the end of the year, and next thing you know, you're like, you're buying a house or you're paying off your house or whatever you're doing. And you're like, it's so rewarding. And it's also helping you stay really like, you know, relative with the sport, you know? So it's like this, it's almost like timeless. The longer you stay on, you're consistently winning, you know, it's crazy. You win the contest, you sometimes get matched the check from your sponsor. You're like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
No brainer to just try to max out your performance on tour. Cause you could do what you're saying too. I feel like you could like chase good clips and get barreled and do all that. And then you're also like, you're going to all the mental places, you know, to comp all the guys. So it's just like,
Yeah.
It's like kind of like whatever. I'll max this out and get some 100 grand checks, like you said. And
Yeah, for sure.
And I see you getting them. Like, that's the meanest one, or I just see you winning. You know, like I see you getting the 100 grand. So I'm just like, oh, you should never walk away from.
No, of course.
You freaking taking care of business like that. Right?
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. I think I'll do it for as long as, I don't know. It's just an outlet for me to be like super competitive, and I like that. So.
And healthy, huh?
Yeah, and healthy,
seems like you guys
and it keeps me like, you know, really motivated and really focused on certain things. So I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Sick.
Well, I mean, like, because I feel like you got a few world titles in you, but like I think it's just all about when it clicks that year. Like, you know, you woke up in the morning, that Pipe Masters, you're like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna see John in the final. I feel unstoppable. But hopefully you get a couple years like that where you're just in that flow. Cause like, you know, your airs are just as good as anyone's, the carves are just as good as anyone's, and your, you know, pipeline and backdoor, it's like,
yeah.
The late drop is nuts. You got the cakey late drop.
Yeah.
Bro, you know what? Actually, you know, like, because a lot of people go, oh, how do you like get better at barrel ready? I'm like, oh, pal out to the short break and just keep packing barrels, late drops. Next thing you know, you're making the drops and you're pulling in these barrels, but they're closing out. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what you did, and Makana did, and KR did, and Moana Jones, bro. I remember seeing Moana out there just packing them, bro. I was like, this chick's nuts. Bro, next thing you know, she's just out of pipeline, just doing the same thing she was doing at Keki's, these late drops. Next thing you know, she's in like 8-10 foot freaking psycho barrels.
Yeah, that's the best.
That's how you get good at pulling
your quick draw. You gotta get the quick draw.
Yeah, just
you
show up.
So much practice. Like
just show up. Yeah, just show up to Hawaii with a board bag full of soft tops and go to Keki's every day.
Yeah,
just keep practicing, bro. You're gonna get shacked soon.
It's pretty sick. It teaches you how to fall too. Like you know, when you're in the barrel and you're like, and you like learn certain ways where to jump, where not to jump, and what to do, and you just get that repetition, which is cool. I mean, it's obviously really dangerous, but it's cool.
Bro, when I wipe out and when I wipe out at Keki's and anywhere, I'm just like this and a ball like
cannonball. Yeah,
and then like as it's slowing down, I'm all, where am I?
Yeah,
where am I?
That's the master's degree right there. The like blooming ball. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
What's the biggest thing you'd recommend to the next generation coming up underneath you?
That's a good question. Like, I feel like kids nowadays are like kind of like look for like the easy way out, maybe in a way. Like they try and like take the easy route. And I feel like if kids would just like grind it out and like, you know, do the, you know, fucking paddle out, surf like all day. Like don't like look for like all these like, oh, I want to get sponsors or oh, this and that. It's just like go and grind out surfing all the time and just get really good at surfing. I think like that helps because I feel like a lot of kids are like all like, ooh, well, I'm not going to go surfing if there's no filmer on the beach. Like, you know,
that's like me.
Yeah, but like you're like going out to pipe and getting the best waves, you know? So it's like, obviously that's valid, but like when you're a kid, it's kind of like, don't be entitled, just kind of go out and grind. And
when you're growing up, huh?
Yeah,
for the question, huh? For the kids, like, even though Jamie and I think we're kids still.
Bro, how's this one though? Like I probably last year I surfed like 3 times with no camera. I would just paddle out and then these guys would be like, I heard you went surfing. The filmers, I'm like, yeah, I paddled out. Like, what? Soul session. Sick.
Yeah, feels good, huh?
Right.
I've been doing a bunch of those too lately.
It's
like
so
more
weird.
than usual.
Yeah.
Just like just getting there,
yeah. So just go surf. Don't worry about getting sponsored. Time in water.
Yeah, just love the sport. Like just fall in love with surfing, you know, and that's what we all do it for, you know. We fell in love with it when we were kids and like that was it. Like we didn't care, like you didn't care about like, oh, sponsors this, sponsors that. You know, you just wanted to go surf with your friends and have a good time.
Well, that all comes too when you like what you say, if you go put in the hard yards or go surf all day and put in the work, all the sponsors, all the filmers, everything's gonna come your way if you just do it. So it's almost like you're just trying to help the kids.
Like John, like for instance, John loves surfing. Like if he didn't have any sponsors or whatever, he would just surf all day.
Right?
I see it on the road all the time. He surfs all day, and I'm like, dude, the waves suck. Like, how are you like this psyched on surfing?
It's crazy. I can't even keep up with them. Between him like trying to go sail or freaking ride his bike up Pupake or Peacock Flats, or like I'm just like, bro, I'm good. Four sessions a day. Bro, they've been trying to get me to go on this bike ride. Like, bro, come on, Jamie, come bike ride. Be super mellow. They're like laughing at him. I'm like, Brian, frick, I don't trust you, John, bro.
They're trying to set you up.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
We want to see Jamie suffer.
Yeah, they want to see me suffer.
Dude, the bike rides are weird, isn't it? Weird how your legs like feel sore at first, and then if you just go, you just kind of get through it.
Doesn't even feel it.
Yeah.
It's so
but at first, you're like, every time 5 minutes in, you're like, oh, there's no way I'm dead today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what's the goals? What's the goals this year? I mean, the year's almost done, but
The year's done. I mean, the competitive year's done, but I'm just excited to surf, be at home, not travel as much. I mean, the winter's going to start, so we don't really leave, obviously.
how many months of the year were you gone?
I left in February and I got back like August,
Dang.
September.
On the road.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm grateful for now. I could pick and choose when I want to be home. It's so nice.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's so like your body just gets so over it. Your mind is just like, yeah, it's tough. I got sick a lot this year too, which was really a bummer.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Hate that. How old are you again, man?
24.
Nice.
Yeah.
Almost halfway to 50.
Yeah, I've
almost
been
halfway to
18
50.
for like 15 years, man. It's so gnarly.
What else?
24.
Bro, these guys are lagging with the questions over here.
I love it. You want questions? I got the load. You want
Yeah,
me to
yeah.
run?
Unleash, bro.
Let me just
Mason.
freestyle this one. Watch this. What kind you want? A category now. Watch this.
Put them under pressure, bro.
Okay, Barron. How in the world? Now, I already know that's Cakey Beach. Nah, so nah, damn it, I'm all stumped now. I put myself on the spot. But no, how's this one? What was your favorite subject in school
Oh,
when you
God.
used to go?
I was really bad at school, like not like really, really bad at school. But
Well, sure we weren't all like
I couldn't read when I was a kid. Like I
Really?
was like in full like special ed, like couldn't read.
I was in
Serious?
special ed too.
Yeah, like
I didn't know that.
I was really bad at reading.
I knew you were in special ed just because
Yeah.
I went around. Grew up like I was looking up to you.
You're like, where's Jamie at? Why
No,
is he
I
in this building?
Yeah, guys would say you're in that class. I was like, no, he's not bad. I'd see you in there, but be like, no, he's not. Just because I knew I was trying to strap like you.
No,
you know,
but because I swear, like my dad, it was like surfing was like,
no, your
just
dad was a
surfing.
genius. You
Surfing's
put you in
number
there so you had
one.
more
Yeah.
time to surf or something.
Dude,
Yeah.
I got in trouble at school because they're like, oh, like what's important to you? Number one, they're like hoping I was gonna say school, and I was like, oh, I surfing. They're like, what do you do after school? I'm like, surf.
that one.
They're like, wait, what? School should be important. Number one, and number two is homework. I was
Yeah.
like, no, surf. And
You
then
just thought you're like, man,
I'll
that's
get-
riddle.
bro, I get kicked out of school, and then my dad would like act all mad at me, like picking me up from the school, and then freaking boom, get home. He's like, all right, get out of the house, go surf, grab your board. Just go surf for the rest of the afternoon while all the kids are in school.
That's perfect.
Did you and McCon? Did you guys all go to school together or no?
Yeah,
You
so I
and
went
McConnell?
to Sunset Beach Elementary. We all went to Sunset Beach Elementary, and then once I went into middle school and high school, I went to middle school for 3 months and at Wailua, and then went to 1 month at Kuku, and then I went to homeschool.
Hit the homeschool and flared.
I
Yeah,
was like, yeah,
that's why I
I-
thought you were 18 forever. Bro.
yeah. So I convinced my mom to let me go to homeschool, and that's
That's all time. That's what Coco did.
it was sick.
She just enrolled herself. I
Yeah.
remember. Like my mom and dad had no call in it.
It's so. I mean, it was sick for the time because you're just traveling and stuff, and you get to
Right.
surf. And,
Yeah.
But if I wasn't like going to be a surfer, I probably would have went to normal school.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to get
true, huh?
Those
But
social skills.
Yeah. What's a day in the life for Barron Mamiya when pipe's gonna be
that
pumping?
one.
Yeah.
Mm.
What time are you waking up? Are you like just top of the morning? It's
He's
dark.
a morning guy. Let
Yeah,
me answer
psych.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to wake up at like 4:30,
Bro, really?
I knew it.
4:30, 4:45. Like just get super high on coffee at my house. Bounce
Fire.
around, watch your part from Who Is J.O.B.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Freak
movie.
show, bro.
These guys like
I
that.
watched
It's pretty
that,
classic.
and I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
I was
sick.
psych on that. And
It's a
then
freaky
I watch
segment.
everyone's like pipe parts, and then drive down the hill, pull up like at like right like first
Before.
light, grab my board and just go.
So you're out there as I'm like waking up,
Yeah.
looking at it, going, should I paddle out? How good is it?
Yeah.
You're gonna be on the first 3 good ones that I see that makes me go, okay, I'm gonna paddle out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to get out there before Jamie.
No, I was gonna
And
say, hey, well, you and maybe me.
Yeah, for
We
sure.
might
Like, I
be
gotta
the
get out there.
guys that why he's out so early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, how do you sacrifice your life before the sun comes? Before the
I know.
I'm
It's
always
pretty
like,
gnarly.
"Bruh, if I'm gonna sack my life, bro, I'm gonna wait till that sun's just beautifully on me."
Yeah.
And the lifeguards are like showing up, like you're giving yourself a fair shot. Like I'm
Genius.
like
I
the
didn't
older I
think
get,
of
I'm
that.
like, frick, I don't even want to like dom patrol it out there. Like I'd just like let the offshores kick in, it gets perfect. Let Barron get spit out of 3, and then I'll
He's all
paddle out.
stoked.
Then you'll paddle out, and then like we'll get like 3. We'll go back to back on a good day,
Oh.
and then here comes freaking Noah Beshin and freaking KR and and all these guys are like, "Bro, it's freaking firing out here." I'm like, how do you know, bro? They're like, "Bro, it's watch freaking you got 3, Mason get 3." I'm like, how? And then
they already got 3 too, but came back out on their second session.
Maybe. And then I was like, they're like, "Bro, surf line rewind, bro. Just keep scrubbing and look for waves that spit and then go back." I'm like, bro, these surf line cameras are heavy, bro.
They're pretty gnarly, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, you can just scrub through it. I'm just like, ooh.
That's the one. Isn't it fun? I know. I was so stoked, right? When I seen the Surfline rewind, I was like, oh, yes. And I was like doing math, getting a little more sessions because a couple of times I was like, I would have never went out, but I'd go back and see one. But then one day it hit me. I was like, wait, are other guys doing this too? No. I'm like, screw everybody. Like,
I'm like,
why are we like that? It's so bad. It's like,
dude, surfing is such a selfish sport. Like even me, I'm like right behind the Volcom house where like the 3-story freaking surf line camera is. They got like fucking 40 angles from one camera. And like, I'm just like, gosh, I want to like bring the drone and just drop something over it first thing in the morning, bro. So then it's just, and then
towel.
Yeah, just.
I know you've worked your whole life for that view. Now guys just log on.
Yeah. Everyone's just got it on their big screen at home and they're just like scrubbing through it, bro.
It's like me, like, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm on Jamie's balcony right now. It looks like.
It's so funny.
But it's kind of funny though, because like I'm like kind of watching and I'm like, oh boom, like, you know, Mason shows up, this guy shows up, this guy shows up, and I'm kind of like watching the waves, but then I'm like watching everyone show up, and I'm like, oh, everyone's paddling out. It's the time to paddle out, you know. It's like, so you know, when you get to the beach and like you're paddling out, Mason's paddling out, I'm paddling out, you're like, frick, everyone saw what I saw. Like, it's good right now.
Usually Barron.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Second session.
Dude, I remember, I just have to tell you this. I don't even know if I've told you this, but bro, there's been like, I went through like a phase of my life where no matter who I seen, if I was checking the waves anywhere on the North Shore, if I seen him, whether I looked to the left or to the right, if I seen someone that was regular foot that just ripped one or did anything gnarly, I'd just be like, oh, it's fucking Barron, bro. This guy is so gnarly, bro. Literally like a couple times I'd just be like, or just people would be like, who was that? And I'd almost know it wasn't you, but I'd be like, it was like a joke. I'd just be like, bro, I was Barron Mamiya, bro, I was Barron. And I remember everyone's like, oh, Barron, bro, I just seen him yesterday. And I'm like, yeah, I know, and then it was you. Like someone's like, I seen him do the biggest backside air yesterday. And I was like, wait, I seen that too, but I was a mile away. And I was like, was that Barron? They're like, yeah, no, he walked up and it was Barron. I'm like, oh, fuck, bro, Barron's so heavy. But I don't know, it was just so fun. I was always like, bro, I gotta tell Barron this one day because I don't know, I just always thought it was the funniest. I'm like, bro, fucking
You're like,
Barron.
that's not Barron, but it's Barron.
Yeah, no, a couple times it wasn't you.
It was like John or someone.
Yeah, it's someone.
Barron.
But I'm like, bro, it's Barron. Just because I feel like you did it so many times to me. I'm like, bro, he deserves all the credit now. Like, because a couple times it was, you get the craziest like one, just backside or like a barrel or an air or something. And I was like, okay, no, that was Barron. No, that was Barron. Barron. And finally, it's like not Barron. Oh fuck, that's Barron. Bro. And guys are like, Barron on. I'm like, yes, spread the word, bro. This guy's fucked up. This guy's amazing.
So
I mean,
it's crazy on the North Shore though. Like you can surf any like spot and you can like see every other wave.
yeah.
You know? Surf pipe, you can see like all the way to Keiki and all the way to like Rocky Sunset.
That's true. Sometimes, I mean, and that's a problem when you're surfing Rockies, and this is why I don't surf Rockies, because the whole time I'm surfing Rockies, I'm like looking at pipe and I see like the left go spit. I'm like, oh frick, what am I doing over here? Rocky Point again.
Pipe.
Always looks firing from that.
When Rockies is like perfect, like 5 feet. Backdoor is like 4 to 5 and perfect, or off the wall is perfect.
True.
And when VLAN's like 4 or 5 feet, backdoor is perfect.
I won't even say why, because we love you guys out there, but we can't tell you everything.
Yeah.
Bro. The angle of the swell, huh? Come do the math. It's real easy. Come check us out.
But some guys, like some people that just show up the first time to Hawaii, it's all perfect. They're like soundbar perfect, gum drop perfect. They're
so
like,
it doesn't matter if north swell, west swell, east swell.
they're like surfing all these weird waves I've never surfed. I'm like, they're like, oh, I got the sickest wave here. And I'm kind of scratching my head. I'm like, huh.
I love that, right?
I don't think I surfed that spot in like 30 years.
I know. You know what's weird is I've noticed the sand, like the sand is changing like everywhere.
Crazy.
Like there's sandbars in certain spots where there usually isn't. And the ones that usually were sandbars a lot, they're not really coming as much. So it's almost like I had a few people too, like tell me like, oh, I surfed over here. And usually I'd just be like, yeah, right. And whatever. But I've been like kind of taking anyone's word for it and looking, and there's been some weird little spots around. It's kind of been weird.
We're gonna see those on his YouTube videos soon.
I had a couple soul sessions. I haven't been filming
Sick.
as much, but nah, I've been trying to freaking subscribe.
Yeah, hey, we gotta get you to 100K.
That's
right. I just checked. You're like at 90.
90, yeah. Oh, Jamie, you're the man. You know my soft spot, man. Like, I need to get those freaking.
We're gonna have a party with Mason when he gets 100K subscribers. Yeah,
we have a 100K subscriber
you're the
party.
man, Jamie.
Right,
Jamie's
10,000.
Yeah. Jamie,
10,000
you got me on YouTube.
Yep,
You even got me a flurry of followers every time I hung with you and did some surfs with you.
that was fun.
And now you're still working to get me 100, right?
Yeah,
I really
let's go.
appreciate it, bro.
How many
Thank
you have?
you.
A million now, huh?
Millie.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
If
pretty
anyone
sick.
does,
Congratulations. That's crazy.
What? You got $1 million? Bro, what?
This guy's got 1 million subscribers.
Does this go on
YouTube.
your? This ain't on your YouTube. This is the Jamie O and Mason Ho show. Yeah. Okay, guys, whoever's out there right now, come on, please put this thing in the episode, boys.
This thing
Get me to 100,000 subscribers, but I need it. It's called Barrel Killer, but it's also called Ho and Pringle. I don't really know even, but I think the account's called Barrel Killer, and then we also title it Ho and Pringle somewhere. But it's like Rory Pringle and myself just trying our
sick.
hardest to get 100,000.
so funny, bro. It's coming. It's coming.
Million, bro. You're the man, dude.
How long did that take you?
There's that plug.
About 5 years.
Plug in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It's-
about 5.
It was like very fast in the first like 3 years. I was at like 600,000, and then it just slowed down, and I was like, no, I'm never gonna get it. And then made a couple viral videos, and then it was like now it's like almost 1.3. But
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's mean, bro.
It's-
You know who
it's
likes
fun.
that? The sponsors, bro. And me.
They love that.
And my mom and dad and everybody.
They love it.
no, but it's not like I'm winning contests. So like I gotta fulfill the
fulfill the
fulfill it,
dream,
yeah.
bro. The wallet, bro. Fulfill that thing.
This guy's making.
Jamie's the hero, bro.
Yeah, that's.
And you too, 100,000 and pipe masters.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
What do you spend that
taxes?
money on?
We won't ask you the hard questions.
taxes. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe 60.
No, I
Making $100,000 checks, bro. We're making it. The North Shore, the NSB. I might be on the low end over here, but woo. Jamie's helping me out, bro.
That's a win-win here on the North Shore.
Yeah. It's,
Well, we got
that's nice.
oil, bro. We got oil on the north.
Yeah.
Don't come over to the north.
The North Shore boys are just pumping oil everywhere.
Right? It's baby oil
Pipe,
spills. Yeah.
Sunset,
Couple, right? Cake.
Rockies.
Sneak over to the South Shore.
All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks, Barron, for coming on the show.
No, thank you so much.
Appreciate you,
I
bro.
appreciate it.
Fuck, man.
Yeah,
Love
man.
you, bro.
Good
Thank you
times.
so much.
We're
Thank
gonna
you guys.
end it. Yeah, click right here to subscribe to Barron and the Mason Ho Pringo show. And
What?
yeah, and then make right here. Check out more
100,000.
podcasts. Appreciate you guys. Peace and love. All right.
Mahalos.